And we are live. The SMT Podcast, Spectrum Auction 107 Special Edition, T-Mobile Magenta Max Throttle Edition. What do you say, Los? What do you say?
I want my money back. I need my money back, and I need it now.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, bro. There are a lot of people, once they see that video you made, they might be a little apprehensive about what they may have just signed up for, dog.
I mean, it sucks, bro. I hope it's just maybe a hiccup right now because they're still fine tuning shit. I'm gonna give it a month.
Hey, listen. Those are the sounds of cheeks. I'm just letting you know right now. Those.
Oh
man. What up?
Yeah. What up?
Couldn't find any water. This is literally the only thing. What does a man got to do to get some water around here? They got some ghost ass coconut water. Coconut water.
I love that. I love it.
Water.
Bro.
What do you mean water?
Nobody likes coconut water.
It's water, not water.
But you gotta
I like coconut water too.
Gotta be careful though, bro. I remember those that had an issue, bro. When I used to open them, I used to check the inside, bro, because there was people reporting there's crap inside of them, bro. So every time I open them, I check, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Look it up.
Hey, Carlos, you're on to something.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm onto something? What are you talking about?
People have said that that have switched to the Magenta Max that their accounts still have not fully provisioned 8 hours after, so they're still receiving the same speed cap that we've seen under the regular Magenta. So I don't know why, but the accounts are not fully provisioning.
Exactly. There's a situation going on with billing and accounting as well. It may not take effect until a week or two from now for some people, from what I understand.
Yeah.
T-Mobile
T-Mobile is doing that on purpose because they don't want you to get hit with the proration. If you started before your billing cycle, you get hit with proration charges.
This is a brand new account, bro. Brand new. I opened it last night.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That plan doesn't exist yet.
No, it did at midnight. My account got turned on at 12:30 a.m.
A brand new account.
Brand new, brand spanking new.
Oh, interesting.
Brand new, bro. Like they said they couldn't add it to do mix and match on it. They were forcing me to change it, so I was like, you know what, just open your personal account.
Adam, brother, get off the ledge, dog. AT&T is good. They're okay, bro. Get off the ledge. Come on back, bro.
Tyro, what are you doing? What are you brainwashing people now? What's going on here?
Ty, what did you say in your video, bro?
I just told them they got the lowest amount of spectrum.
Well, you are basically like a god. They take your word for it.
He ain't lying, bro.
I mean, if we're being honest, they now have the lowest amount of midband and the lowest amount of millimeter wave spectrum.
Yeah, I can't argue that. Which is why I don't understand why they didn't do more with CBRS.
There you go.
There he is.
Got
and the military edition. That's even better.
They should have bought 40 megahertz CBRS at least, but they didn't.
Mr. Guest, I'm not sure what they told you. I'm not sure what the situation is, but they were saying it was $47 per line for 3 lines on a promo right now. After that, it jumps to $57. So I don't know. And they say taxes and fees are included. So, watch that pricing.
Because on mine it shows 70 for a single line because it's only one line on that new account.
That's not bad, bro. Some people are paying 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the Magenta Max plan, my first reaction was, "What is Carlos?"
Auto pay, by the way, too, right?
Yeah, probably put on
auto pay.
Yeah, 70 with auto pay, 75 without.
So it was a fine. No, when I saw that plan, I was confused at first because when the news broke, it was Pete that broke the news, and the first thing that ran in my mind was, what is Carlos going to say and what is Sneed going to say? Because I know you guys, I know exactly. I think we're all on the same page about T-Mobile, but I'm gonna probably just put a bird eye view on this because I'm probably not as smart as you guys, which is a known fact. Smarter in other things, but not this. But in regards to the Magenta Max, when I first saw it, at first I thought, I'm like, okay, so this is probably just another 5G straight plan for 5G devices. But then I started looking into the details, and honestly, there is something there. There is something. Like, for example, they give you the premium, the Scam Shield premium, so that's a good feature to have. That's the premium version. The Netflix, obviously that was included, but at least now it starts with standard lines. You don't have to do 2 lines or more, so that's a good positive. And then I kept looking, the unthrottling of none, like basically no throttling up to 4K. But that's the one thing I wanted to ask after I finish real quick. So you're getting a lot more benefits with the Magenta Max plan, but I wanted to ask because I know somebody had mentioned something about the whole non-throttling. Somebody had mentioned that is not really true, or it's capped or up to a certain amount. So could somebody really fill me in on the deal with that whole unlimited no cap kind of?
Well, Carlos is using it and he's getting throttled.
Bro, I literally got the text at 3:03 this afternoon. It's 5:21 right now here. All right. So then after that, I noticed it started slowing down because I'm doing like through tele speed test. So it's downloading these 100 gig files, just to get. You can do a speed test all day. I don't care how you do speed tests, but speed tests will never be as accurate as you actually downloading a file.
It's true.
That's how you're going to get your real data. How fast the connection is, how stable.
So what you could do is you could do a task that how big the file is, or how big the download is, and then you would time it and then divide the rate. Right? So you would take however big the file is. Let's say the file is 1 gig, right? And it takes you 5 minutes to download it.
Yep.
You're in trouble. You've been throttled. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's uncapped and you're doing 100 megabits per second, that should not take you more than maybe 10 or 15 seconds to download.
There you go. And that's the problem right there, is what's going on with this plan. Like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. Bro, one plan, I was already at almost 10 gigs on my T-Mobile One International that has 50 gig priority versus my Magenta Max is supposed to be fully unthrottled. It's only at 2 gigs downloaded, and I started both at the same time. Literally at the same time.
It's possible it could be congestion, but remember, they do prioritize speed tests. So that it might be a little bit deceiving is what I'm saying. Like, you run the speed test, you get 200 megs, you do something of an application or a file, it's a different story, right? It's not prioritized as a task. And see, this is what people forget, and I've done a video on this. There's no true QCI on T-Mobile. It's a task-based QCI system. And they forget and they don't remember this because this is when it matters.
Preach.
I tried, bro. I mean, that video only got like 1,000 views. That may be one of the most important videos I've done to this date in understanding your connection with these carriers.
All right, I hear you.
Okay, so I'm supposed to be downloading fast as hell if I'm getting this speed right now here at the office.
That number represents fast as hell. Go ahead, Los. Whatever number that is. Come on.
282.
And the uplink is not bad.
Yeah, it's in the 30s. For here in the office, I was able to have the T-Mobile home internet here, and I did the live stream with Sneed. No problem. So I know here it can handle it. But tell me why, after that outage yesterday, out of nowhere, even my T-Mobile home internet, I'm only getting 1 meg down and 0.40 up, 0.40, 0.60 up. That's it. That's all I can get in the daytime. Before, I was getting 30 by 20 or 60 by 30.
Maybe a tower's down, bro, and there's a lot of stress.
No, but this is at my home site. But this tower right here that I'm connected on right now is the office. This is 4-mile drive, 4-mile distance. Different tower.
Yeah, here in New York, Verizon was a little bit lower than usual in my area, but just recently they seems to have it's back to normal now. Now I'm getting readings up in the hundreds, so that's pretty good to see. And that's on LTE. I didn't turn on 5G DSS, so I'm just using regular old LTE.
Obed, my friend, you have nothing to be sorry for. Thank you for the super chat. The Sprint Premium plan is still better. You don't have to be sorry. It probably is. I know it comes with Tidal. It comes with Hulu. You get no throttle on the video. You get 100 gigs of priority data. And I think, Carlos, what is it? Is it 100 gigs of or 40. 100 gigs of mobile hotspot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is an incredible value. And I think it's uncapped video, meaning it's not even just strapped to 4K. It is legit unthrottled. Whatever they got, they give it to you. What's up, Mr. Zero Cool?
What up? How's it
How
going?
you doing?
Hey, Zero
good.
Cool. Look like I stole your look. How do you like it?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I pull the Oscar look better than you.
I bet you do.
I'm
Oh,
so
man.
excited, man. You have no idea.
Dude, that auction, like when I saw the numbers when you made your video, I was completely jaw dropped. Not because I was shocked at, I expected that Verizon was going to beat them. I was shocked that they almost crossed. Like if they had spent just a little more, they would have been 50 billion.
With clearing costs, they hit 52 billion.
Okay, so that's even. Damn.
If my bill goes up, all my lines are going to AT&T.
Imagine they spent, right? They spent more money than the DirecTV merger, and they are going to be able to monetize this on day one.
Damn.
Bam!
This map that I'm looking at is amazing. This is an amazing map right now with the final results of C-Band.
Yeah, I'm glad everything went to, California definitely getting some love out of everybody.
Yeah. Do you guys want to look at some numbers?
Sure.
Okay. Who would you like me to start with?
Can we, let's pull the Band-Aid off. Let's get
Should
the let's just get the Band-Aid right off.
Should we?
King, bro, the king.
All right, we shall start. I have notes. I have numbers. I got the whole shebang.
Let's hear it.
All right, here we go.
Lay the throne down to the king, guys.
All right, so I made a spreadsheet, and here are all the numbers right here for you guys. So what we have is the top 20 markets for Verizon, where they spent all their money, how much they spent, how many, the spectrum depth that they got, the total money spent, the loan that they had to get, and then also some notes that I put in terms of the future outlook of the network. So what you guys are looking at, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it better.
Mm-hmm.
These are the top 10 markets where Verizon spent got the most spectrum and spent most of their money. So, this is too much. All right, so if you look at what just happened. Okay, there we go. In Tampa, Virginia Beach, Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greenville, they spent $2 billion. Those markets have 160 megahertz of spectrum in C-band. Syracuse, New York, Rochester, 180. You can see they spent about $500 million. San Antonio and Austin, 600 million, 140 megahertz. Notice that it's all Block A and Block B. Verizon had no interest in Block C. I'm guessing that these were the premium licenses, especially the Block A. Verizon dominated. They took everything in the top 50, essentially.
Baby,
for
I got
Block A.
160.
Now, what I want to do is I want to look at some markets that I think are critical for Verizon because they're big-time markets in terms of market share. So if you see a market that it got 180 megahertz of spectrum and C-band, that is an indication that they are addressing mobility and they will monetize with home internet. In my estimation, that's how I see it.
I just got a big update, a huge update. New level 2, the question mark of who the heck new level is?
I heard it. That's Verizon.
No. I have something even better. There's rumors AT&T might buy out new level.
Ooh.
But isn't that US Cellular?
No, new level 2. You remember the bidder, new level 2.
Yeah. That's a different entity. Yeah.
You know why, right? Because it perfectly fits in the continuous spectrum.
But they just can't buy them now, right?
Well, decisions are being made at the top.
All right. Well, I want to continue looking at these numbers here. So all these markets, Phoenix, Arizona, 160, Seattle, 160. These are massive channels. These are noteworthy because the only carrier that currently owns spectrum like this is T-Mobile. I said several months ago that when Spectrum Auction 107 finishes, T-Mobile's spectrum advantage is over. It doesn't matter if a company has 200 megahertz of midband or 240. That difference is negligible. T-Mobile's advantage was that nobody had any, and they had 160. As soon as this goes live, it's over. Their window to close the network gap and to get ahead is now shut. They're no longer alone in building out 5G standalone with their own channels of spectrum, right? So like N41. N41 is no longer special once this goes live. You get what I'm saying? Like Verizon's going to have N77, T-Mobile's going to have N77, AT&T's going to have N77. N41 is no longer the only mid-band channel wider than 20 megahertz. So San Diego, Seattle, Minneapolis, Sacramento, Vegas, these are massive channel sizes. I'll come back to a couple of things on this, but I want to look at the last bit of markets listed. The CLE getting some love, dog. $500 million spent. Orlando, Detroit. I want you guys to notice something. Every single one of these markets is 140 megahertz or more. That's not a little bit of spectrum. That's a lot of spectrum. That takes care of the congestion on mobility, and it addresses the home internet if they want to monetize the service. Look at this, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, every major market getting love. All right, let's look at the total expenditure with clearing costs approaching $53 billion. They just inked a deal to take care of the $25 billion in debt for the loan there. All right, here are some notes, and you guys can comment on these. Verizon absolutely dominated Block A. They are going to have some kind of an agreement with AT&T in which AT&T will get to transmit and broadcast Block A until B and C blocks become available in 2023. Verizon really has the only tower density currently to make this a meaningful connection. Not only do they have 140, 160, or 180 megahertz, in some markets 200 megahertz, but they're also going to be deploying band 48 with 60 megahertz of general access, along with 30 or 40 megahertz PAL licenses, spectrum depth. So we might see a band 48 100 megahertz channel, and you might see a C-band 160 megahertz channel in the same market in 2023 or 2024. Millimeter wave will continue to build and scale. So that means Verizon has 3 capacity layers in some markets 1 year from now. Millimeter wave, N77, and band 48. I think what people need to understand is that this was T-Mobile's chance. They had exactly 1 year, in my estimation, to get ahead. And now that window in December, that it closes shut like fast as hell. So they literally have between now and December to try to get ahead in 5G. Because after this is done. Welcome to the party, El.
And we know Verizon, bro, even if they deploy 40 megahertz of it, they will milk the ants out of that 40, bro, even though they don't need to. And it will be superb because the way they're going to milk it, bro. You know them. Somehow they can milk ants, bro, and make it happen.
So where's AT&T's? I see. Verizon got the whole A block. Does that include? Is that the whole one?
That is
60?
the whole A block. It's 100 on A block. It's 100 on A block.
Oh, just 100. Okay. That's what I thought.
And
okay,
then,
so
the next 100 would be B, and then
60.
the last 80 would be
so it's 100 for Verizon and 60 going to AT&T.
No. The block A is 100% Verizon.
Okay, but what my question is, for one market, it's 160 megahertz. Now, is that like blocks A, B, and C?
Yes.
Okay, so that means Verizon has 100 megahertz of block A. The B is what, 60 megahertz, and then C is whatever, or is it 40? Or
Verizon has no block C.
I think also we gotta mention this, Caleb, Zero Cool or F. Both AT&T and Verizon will start deploying C-band in December of 2021. Why? How? If Verizon got the entire A block, because from our understanding of the Twitter threads today, AT&T, in agreement with Verizon, has agreed that 40%, 40 megahertz of the 100 will be able to be deployed by AT&T immediately.
Well, that's my question. So pretty much, so AT&T is getting the blocks B and C. They're getting the additional. They're getting the 40 and 60 megahertz.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that was my question. Okay, I got you now. I'm curious to know what T-Mobile has got. If you have information,
I got the other spreadsheets. Like I got 3 sheets for each of the carriers, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. Chaim, thanks for the super chat. No, it's not N78. The C-band has been identified as N77. I don't know if they'll be opening up another channel for it, but that's what I know right now. So I know N78 is international roaming for C-band in other countries, but yeah.
So, question. So that means when I was seeing Verizon phone roaming on AT&T and vice versa, that was a test back last year when I was seeing that a lot, right? When they were testing to see if they can co-par.
No. That's
Bro.
not what it was. What you're saying is because of the sharing of the 100 megahertz?
Yeah.
No. All it is Verizon wanted a partner. From how I understand it from the tweets, and Sneed, you can correct me, Tyrone. From what I understood, Verizon and AT&T are going to pay for the reallocation costs, correct?
They all pay clearing costs.
Exactly.
Every carrier does. Yes.
Everybody pays, but specifically those two will be paying more to get access to 60% Verizon and 40% of the 100 megahertz.
That's how it was in the original document.
After December 2022, AT&T will then have their own 40 megahertz again, so they will have to do a frequency swap of those radios. Instead of transmitting in the 40 megahertz that are of Verizon, they'll be transmitting on their own 40. That's all it is.
It's just a frequency change.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
The same radio should be able to handle that change.
Correct. Yeah.
Shouldn't need new radios.
Yeah.
So would you all like to see what AT&T did?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Curious as to see what T-Mobile did, but
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I swear, it's like the tension is building up.
Yeah, we'll get there. But remember, T-Mobile didn't have pressure in this auction. T-Mobile's job in this auction was to get a bargain. They were, clean up and get the value where they could.
I mean, they did pretty well. I wouldn't lie when I saw the number. I mean, they did pretty decent in my opinion, but it could have been worse. You know what I mean?
Let's go ahead and see how AT&T did.
So just real quick, I saw the New York number for Verizon. And I'm going to tell you right now, they needed all of that in this city, especially the 5 boroughs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right now, I think they're working on Staten Island as we speak. So they just told you about millimeter wave setup. So I actually got access to it by the Verrazano Bridge. So they finished at the St. George's Ferry. So I'm excited to do some testing over there, and I hope it makes its way towards New Jersey side.
I'm surprised you mentioned that because Verizon's been losing market share in New York City. So how much more market share will they lose between now and December, and now between next December? Because that's really what I'm worried about. Verizon's going to continue losing market share whether we like it or not. This is not going to fix their situation until it's massively deployed, but we do know that Verizon's able to massively deploy it because they have the money. They have the money to do it.
It's not that they have the money. They're willing to spend the money.
Correct. They have the money. They will spend the money. But between now and December, how much market share are they going to lose? I predict they will lose 1.2% market share this year in all markets that are currently on the downcline, because the trend has been 0.1 or 0.3, depending on the market share per month.
quarter.
That's huge.
Oh, per month.
per month,
Oh,
0.1
wow.
to 0.3, depending on the market.
All right, y'all. Let's take a look at these numbers. For AT&T, I got your top 20 markets right here. Or most of them are top 20 markets. Okay, so the first listing on the left-hand side, most of those locations are getting 80 megahertz in spectrum depth. The only exception being Dallas getting the full 100 megahertz treatment. They reached $1 billion on that market. That is AT&T stomping grounds, correct, Moose?
Oh, it's the by far, just like Verizon, right? For New York City, you never want your home market to be in danger.
Unless T-Mobile, I hear their
Yeah.
network is crap in Bellevue.
In Seattle, T-Mobile is not the same. But what can you expect from Pink Thongs? I mean, let's be real.
I would expect them to be strong there. It makes no sense, bro.
It doesn't make sense. But again, what do you expect from Pink Thongs and people, expecting free lines from the Magenta Max plan? I mean, come on, man. Like, this is blasphemous. You can't expect free stuff forever.
All right. We got Boston, Philadelphia, both coming in with a $500 million spent in spectrum, 80 megahertz each. Frisco, Chicago, LA, all got the 80 megahertz treatment as well. LA costed over $2 billion. New York costed over $2 billion. Pretty much every market got the 80 megahertz treatment in the top 20 for AT&T. So they're going to have a sizable channel size as well. They spent $27.4 billion once you add in the closing costs. Tyrone, I'll start with you. I know you were a little bit bullish on where AT&T is at. I'm not. I think this meets the needs. Would I have liked to have seen them go 100 megahertz in more places? Yeah. But clearly you saw what Verizon did, and they weren't willing to go there with Verizon.
I'm just glad they got Los Angeles, San Francisco, and especially San Diego covered for Verizon and AT&T. And San Diego, out of all places, needs it the most.
Go ahead, Tyrone. Let me get you in here.
Yeah, so again, AT&T did what was needed, right? Did they need to compete on the A block? Probably not. They're still densifying. They're in the middle of a huge densification process that will likely take them into 2023 when this clears, the licenses that they actually won. So I just don't know. It's when AT&T taps out, so to speak, Verizon and T-Mobile can continue turning up the heat if we're talking spectrum. Like I said, they now have less millimeter wave spectrum than T-Mobile and Verizon, and they now have less mid-band than T-Mobile and Verizon. So we'll see. I think they have no choice at this point to combat with densification, so they're going to have to likely double and triple the C-RAN plan the way it stands, and the macros as well. And they will likely, going forward, I think you mentioned this earlier, Sneed, I think right now, as it stands, AT&T will be the only carrier that is focused on a coverage expansion in the near-term future.
Okay, I have to do. Thank you for saying that, and I'm glad somebody finally acknowledged it.
SMT stamp approval.
Listen to me. There is one carrier that offers anybody in this country hope for coverage. It is AT&T or no one else. Verizon is done expanding the network. T-Mobile will never expand the network. They are done.
Yeah.
It is strictly going to be a capacity game moving forward for those two carriers.
Yep. There's no point in arguing it. You're absolutely 100% right. Because, they would just kind of pick up the scrap meat at this point of the auction. And, you look at the congestion right now, it's horrible. It's all over the place. So I think at this point, it's just really, like you just said, focusing on the capacity, trying to get these people to handle on the network. And I've seen I've seen what you've done when you post pictures of their antenna setup. It's a disgusting mess.
All right, Ranger Horse. I got to say this real quick. Ranger Horse, you are a friend of the show forever, and I'm going to tell you why. Moose, Tyrone, we were talking before the show. What did I say about T-Mobile and the Sprint merger? How did this spectrum auction pan out? Was this Spectrum auction more expensive or less expensive than T-Mobile and Sprint merger? The
Same.
answer is this auction was cheaper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Verizon just spent $50 billion to get 160 megahertz everywhere they needed it. T-Mobile spent $26 billion on Sprint. They took on 2/3 of their debt, which is probably about $20 billion. And they have to integrate the network. And they have to migrate all the customers. And they have to pay rent at double the stores until those leases end. And they had to get rid of all those people and pay redundancies. Bro, literally, T-Mobile probably is going to end up spending somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 billion on the Sprint merger. How is that better than what any carrier just spent on C-band?
You forgot about the 9 that they just spent in this auction too.
Well, no, well, that I
gotta add the 9, bro.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I said 70 billion. Right? It's about 60 billion, and then throw in this 10 billion. I got it at 70 billion. And that is just so because they weren't going to make it any other way. They had to merge because the one thing that the Spectrum auction could not give them was market share. You get what I'm saying? They literally took Sprint's customers. That was the only difference. That was the deal breaker. That's why T-Mobile did the merger and didn't want to go to the Spectrum. How much Spectrum was T-Mobile going to get in this?
Don't forget about the $5 billion going to LA for the ping tongs, yo.
Let me tell you something that I think a lot of people forget. T-Mobile's merger costs will be exponentially higher as this thing continues. Okay, and I'll explain why the C-band auction cost the carriers nothing in the long term. Nothing, because their rate of return of spending for every $1 billion that they spend now, it will mean nothing in 5 years because they will have already gained the return on investment that they already put in just 5 years. Versus the T-Mobile merger, where in the first 3 years they cannot monetize it from their existing base unless they're, actually upgrading their plans like they showed today today with the Magenta Max plan. Number one. Number two, they have, like you mentioned, significant amount of stores, significant amount of towers, double everything. They had a significant amount of employees. Okay. These are multiple negatives.
Okay, but Moose.
For a little bit of spectrum.
But Moose, there was no, like, have you ever, when they undid the snap in Infinity in Endgame, right? Like it made all these new like things that happen. These new like what do they call those? The where like the future happens, but it was the past, and now it goes like a different way. Like if we could go back and do that, if T-Mobile doesn't get the merger with Sprint, it's over for T-Mobile. They're looking for another merger. They could not compete moving forward. They would have gotten nothing in this auction. Sprint would have still been sold for parts, and T-Mobile would have been looking for another buyer. This was the only way we would have kept 3 carriers that are worth a damn. I'm glad the T-Mobile and Sprint merger happened. T-Mobile is clearly showing they want to compete and win.
Yeah.
I'm good with the merger, but I'm telling you guys, it costed them to do that merger. It hurt. They are new to debt. This has never happened in the history of T-Mobile.
Their backup merger with Spectrum, by the way.
Let's put it this way. This is like subprime lending. This is like, okay, you can't qualify to get a car. We'll put a tracking device in it and charge you a 31% interest rate. That's basically what this merger was about. They got taxed. They're paying the higher interest on it by, at the end result, paying more for the whole merger than it would have been to just go to a Spectrum auction and buy off some shit real quick.
But they weren't going to win.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
No,
look,
course.
guys, look. Verizon just literally bought the entire Block A. What version of T-Mobile is going to win there?
They had no choice but to do the basically it's like bro, if you want that brand new car, bro, and your credit was shot, you have no choice but to take that subprime lending if you need it, right? That's what they did. They took the subprime rate and got it. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys think about it, they did the exact same thing with the 700 megahertz way back when they bought the entire C block. They did the exact same thing on the entire A block with C band.
And then also keep in mind too, the A block is technically the better of the 3 versions
That's correct.
because it's the lowest frequency of the 3.5.
It's marginal, bro. I mean, I get it. I know it's very technical. I got it.
Well, even if it's marginal, the X55 versus the X60, it makes sense to go for the X60.
But that's not what the Block A is really about. The Block A is really about December 2021, dog.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because guess what? 60-40. We even called it, Sneed.
Yeah, but
Tyron,
I know.
Man.
Yeah, but they're benefiting from that 60-40 split for now.
Oh yeah.
Right? That helps their debt a little bit.
AT&T is going to pay the relocation costs, pretty much. I'm sure it's going to be.
That saves Verizon $7 billion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Business, bro. Business, money making moves, bro.
Yeah.
On's the money bag move.
Just real quick.
Ranger Horse, you are the friend of the show forever, by the way. Thank you.
Just real quick, everybody. Just got some breaking news. Dish bought 5 megahertz of C-band in Bangor, Maine. Just wanted to throw that in there.
How? It's a 20 megahertz block. How did they? How?
How?
I don't know, man. Charlie's a good negotiator. He got 5 megahertz of it.
God.
No way. You're kidding.
You're lying, bro. You're lying. Come on, please tell me you're joking.
God.
How?
You're joking, right, bro?
He's lying, bro. He's lying.
No way.
It's 20 megahertz blocks. Come on, bro. Please.
Yeah.
He must have had some wet cards, man. I don't know.
Hold on. What was it, Tyrone? What were you gonna say?
I said, could he even afford a full 20 megahertz slice at 2.5 million?
No.
Bro.
Maybe in El Paso.
Okay, hold on. Have we seen a 10 megahertz slice of N260 before?
Carlos, maybe on T-Mobile.
Not again, bro. Not again.
I don't want to live in a world like this. I don't want this version of the world where Charlie Ergen has a 5 megahertz slice of N77, bro. Please.
No way, bro.
So, do you think, Sneed, that we might see additional purchases, as in another carrier might buy out the remaining licenses after certain debt has been alleviated? DirecTV, perhaps?
A deal, you mean?
No, like, they're getting $15 billion, right? Cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think that $15 billion might go to buy additional spectrum for this auction?
No.
Debt.
I think it goes straight. I think it goes straight to dividends, or it has to go to some corporate usage.
You think that this is it? You don't have an idea of like.
This is it, bro. This is it.
I don't know, man.
This is it.
The rumors are circling.
All right, man. Well, when they solidify, we could talk about it. But I mean.
So you're saying you don't believe that is going to happen?
No, it's very expensive. Even 15 billion. I mean, what did that get? What did 15 billion get T-Mobile in this auction? They only spent 10.
Yeah.
And they went shopping at the end, bro. They hit the clearance rack.
Yeah, the clearance rack.
All right, so actually, well, let's go to the clearance rack. All right, let's go see what T-Mobile did in the clearance rack here. Let me go ahead.
So you're saying that they shopped at Burlington Co-Factory or Ross? Which one?
Marshalls.
I like Ross though. It's a pretty good story.
Right. Oh my god.
You got some good stuff there. But now I was listening to you guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do think that AT&T can gather up its resources for auction 110, but I think right now that's about it.
Okay, we got updated spectrum nationwide numbers here. T-Mobile.
Real quick, can I do this super chat real quick for Keon? Thank you, Keon, for the super chat. I don't think T-Mobile looks bad in this room. I'm not in agreement with that. I don't think T-Mobile looks bad. I think T-Mobile did the right thing with the merger. I mean, you could see it was a bloodbath in this auction. So they wanted no parts of this. I'm good with it. I think they look good.
It's not that they look bad. It's just that like you take a look at the amount of spectrum and other things that were invested in this auction. I mean, it may look bad on the surface, but as a terms of a merger and combining to make better quality, I guess doesn't look that bad at all from the surface.
No, looks good to me. I think they did all right. Go ahead, Moose.
Okay,
Thank
so
you,
we have, and by the way, if you could probably do this on the Excel spreadsheet, that'll be great. We have T-Mobile still with 345 megahertz of sub-6. Verizon at 292. AT&T at 251.
Yeah,
Those are
those
the
are like
numbers sub-6.
Yeah, the total numbers. It looked like Moose sent me the same screenshot.
Now I also have the spectrum holdings of above 24 gigahertz as well. So if you guys want the complete thing, I can read that off as well. Sneak, did you get my picture or no?
No.
No. Give me 1 second. I'll send it to your Twitter so that you have the numbers.
And then again, the auction 108 will boost those numbers for T-Mobile as well. They will get more spectrum.
So Verizon has 1,643 megahertz of millimeter wave. AT&T has 1,064. T-Mobile has 1,202. Dish has 636 of millimeter wave and 133 sub-6.
Okay, so we got 345 for T-Mobile on the sub-6, 292 for Verizon, and 251 for AT&T.
Yep.
All right, what was the millimeter wave for T-Mobile?
1202.
What was Verizon?
1643.
Okay.
And then AT&T 1064.
Now, to me, this spectrum depth is really only important if you're going to use it. If you're not going to use it, to me, it doesn't even matter.
Yep.
So because you got to build out. The concentration doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Verizon's is very nice because they're building it. The T-Mobile 1202 means nothing to me. It might as well be 5.
Yeah.
Because it's not their thing. Their thing is N41. It's 2.4,
You got Verizon using about 800 megahertz in certain markets of millimeter wave. You got AT&T using about 400. You got mobile using between 2 and 400, depending.
Let me see. Not gonna lie to you guys, kind of a little disappointed in the T-Mobile numbers. A little bit, not a lot, but
what are we doing for Dish, Moose?
The Dish is for sub-6, 133.
133.
133 for sub-6, and then for millimeter wave, 636.
They're flirting.
So this obviously is a big deal. It seems like Verizon has caught up to T-Mobile in the 2.5 to 6 gigahertz range. T-Mobile in the 2.5 to 6 gigahertz range has 189 megahertz nationwide. Verizon now has 178. Very close. Extremely close. 11 megahertz difference. Now, AT&T has 80.
Hold on. What's Verizon's mid-band spectrum holdings?
178 averaged nationwide.
Okay, and what's AT&T's?
80.
80?
For 2.5 to 6 gigahertz. Keep that in mind. From 2.5 to 6.
interesting.
Caleb, you haven't looked at your Twitter, huh? You haven't looked at your Twitter.
No, I haven't.
Ándale. Look at your Twitter. Anyways, so this is pretty big deal, guys. This is a very big deal. Why is this a big deal? Because the low band is, how do I say this? The low band king is AT&T. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The mid band is now in a competition between T-Mobile and Verizon. And then the millimeter wave is always Verizon.
Yeah, but it's the millimeter wave it's not the spectrum depth, it's the scale.
Right.
Right. It's just the fact that they're putting nodes on people's cars and on the back of people's moms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're literally putting it everywhere.
this is kind of my point that I was trying to get at earlier. Like the mid-band game, right? So T-Mobile is still going to win that, at least compared to AT&T.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. Mid-band is more millimeter wave in one respect. The range is always going to need densification. This is not low band.
Right.
So when I look at these C-band results, there's only one network worth mentioning today that could actually properly deploy a C-band channel, and that's Verizon. Verizon has a tower site every mile in the CLE. If they could do it, they could put C-band on every site and literally have like 1.5 gigs per second across the CLE in 2023.
Ooh, nice.
I mean, Zero Cool, give me the theoretical on that, bro. They got 160 megahertz of it.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to add one thing because I know Zero Cool is very particular with the frequencies. In most markets, Verizon got 3,700 to 3,840 in most markets, okay? And AT&T got 3,840 to 3,920. That's 100 megahertz difference, and we all know what happens with 100 megahertz difference. Keep that in mind.
I hold on. Let me think. Let me think for a minute.
Go ahead. Low key, thank you for the super chat. We got so as an AT&T customer, you will start to see benefits as of 2021 December because they are going to be utilizing the A block according to an agreement between Verizon and AT&T. So you will be seeing it, and that's on AT&T though. That's going to be their upgrades, and you'll see it when you see it.
So what about
I think Verizon could push out a gigabyte with their mid-band spectrum holdings. They really have to milk ants with it, but I believe that they can do it.
Well, I'm not questioning the tower density, dude.
No, I'm talking about the capacity, just squeezing out a gigabyte over mid-band.
Well, I mean, the capacity is a function of their tower density, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we're just talking about the tower density is just getting the gigabyte everywhere, right?
And
I'm just talking about just a single theoretical tower. What can you push out?
And it does matter that Verizon is going to scale millimeter wave, right?
Well, I'm just talking about just the mid-band in general. I'm picking out the millimeter wave. So, I mean, if you have a market, for example, that's got 20 megahertz of AWS, they have, let's say, 10 megahertz of 700. Mm-hmm. They have
20 PCS.
Not all markets have 20 megahertz. I want to say like maybe conservatively 10 to 15. Mm-hmm. You got your 850. Mm-hmm. That's about 10 megahertz there.
Right.
And then there's C-band, and you carry like all it together. That will
CBRS?
Get you. And your CBRS, yes. You throw in the CBRS definitely over a gigabyte. You take out your CBRS, you get up to 1 gigabyte. So that CBRS is going to give that little push. Definitely, especially if like a 30 to 40 megahertz channel CBRS, that's definitely going to give it over 1 gigabyte.
I'm getting a 60 megahertz CBRS. It's 60 CBRS, and then it's typically an additional 20, 66, and 20 PCS. So I'm doing 100 megahertz.
Yeah, they'll definitely do over 1 gigabyte easy.
It's doing 700.
Well, even if you had to throw your C-band in, if you carry out all those frequencies over, you'll do over 1 gigabyte easy.
Sure, yeah, it's gonna be big time, bro. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
When could we expect them to roll out for, I would say maybe for the state of New York? Because I know they invested heavily in this state. So when could we expect
60 megahertz of Block A in December. We'll start.
December. Okay, that's reasonable.
Technoid.
The antennas will be up right away.
Technoid. Imagine what I'm about to say here. The same way that the carriers typically do their carrier ads on the sites are based off of the most critical areas that need alleviated congestion to alleviate the congestion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are prioritized day one, right? Those are the ones that are going to be filed the permits immediately. The equipment's going to be ready, etc. But also, we have to think in mind, what is the most bang for their buck? The carriers usually do Manhattan, downtown LA, the downtown areas of most cities. So New York City, or in this case, New Jersey as well, specifically Manhattan is going to be targeted first. Everywhere else is secondary.
That's fair. That is fair.
I want to say that I'm as excited today as I was when I knew T-Mobile was getting 2.5 gigahertz from Sprint. I was really, really excited because I knew they were going to want to build it out fast. C-band is going to build out fast. You know, they want to monetize this immediately. And, you know, we haven't even talked about the use cases. Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah, I got a use case for you.
Yeah,
if you guys think about it, all three carriers are going to have gigabyte speeds on mid-band. What do you think of that? Nationwide.
Yeah.
That would be
Can we
nice.
monetize? Let's
How about
monetize
that, guys?
it, Caleb.
I'm still on board with that. All three carriers.
Yeah.
You give me a minimum gig on mid-band all day.
But who's the one I can trust?
I know, Lowe's. It will get there in time. It may take years, 5 years, but in 5 years, everybody will have that. So nobody will.
Hold up. In 5 years, T-Mobile is going to be irrelevant for most people, because why am I going to go on T-Mobile if Verizon might change their pricing structure, hypothetically, or if AT&T is competent and I have fiber? There's so many question marks that I still have, because we know now from just this auction, if you read between the lines, like Sneed says every time we do this, do not, Sneed, say it.
Don't listen to what carriers say. Watch what they do.
Verizon bought Spectrum in places where they have no market share. What does that mean?
Yeah, bro.
Home internet.
What does that mean?
Home internet, and they
Home
want
internet.
all that market share right there. They want to try to destroy.
They are attack mode, because they know if they are not in attack mode, they will continue losing market share.
But hold on a second, dude. This is a legit question. We're talking about use cases, and all that is important. I'm not sleeping on AT&T. I know that Verizon has the depth of this channel. Like, I know that Verizon's going to do 160, 140, 200, 180. And I know AT&T is really only doing 80 or 100. But that does not mean that they won't scale it.
No,
And yeah, they will. And that's what I'm trying to say is everybody's psyched because Verizon needs the spectrum so bad. But AT&T showed us with FirstNet that they know what they're doing with build-outs.
Bro, they were deploying bands that weren't deployed, so they were finally getting to those. Then you got them doing the FirstNet, which is adding coverage to places that either had no coverage or they were roaming. So this is exciting. They just locked in the deal with ComNet. So now ComNet is building those towers for them in those areas. Like, bro, they're locking in all these deals. You can't overlook at AT&T, man. If you do, you're a fool.
No, don't overlook AT&T. Yeah. I think they're going to scale just fine. I really do.
They're going to, of course, bro. Where there's limited coverage or no coverage, they're buying out the competitor or the roaming agreement competitor and making them build the sites for them. Like, who does that, bro? You're making them do your dirty work, basically.
You know, Ranger, I think with the newfound capacity that we'll start seeing next year, I think a lot of that restriction stuff is going to be out the window. I think 1080p is going to be a standard. I think they'll do it. Go ahead.
Can I ask you? So, in regards to that whole charge more 1080p argument, I gotta ask the question, because whether anybody wants to admit it or not, I know I'm going back to the Magenta Max plan, but I gotta be honest, they kind of did step it up just a little bit with the whole 4K Ultra HD streaming, a little bit. You can't deny, even if it's going to be throttled, even if speeds. So my question would be, now that they've got the spectrum, now they're going to utilize it, would that finally be able to set an industry standard for 1080p or maybe even additional better marketing for 4K streaming content? And better yet, maybe even go in the direction to kind of fill in the gaps for some of these markets. For example, West Palm Beach, Florida, mostly Florida. New York here is pretty good. Florida. I was just down there, so I know how bad it is. But mostly I'm talking about the industry. I feel like I'm asking questions in one, so
I know what you're asking, though. Here's the thing, bro. The number 4K gives people something to like that's tangible that they can identify. If you tell people unthrottled video, 90% of people don't know what that means or care. But if you say up to 4K video streaming, now there's a number attached to it. They're like, oh, that's high resolution. I can do that. I like that.
My TV does that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, real quick, this is not a tech news, but anybody here like horror movies?
I do.
Any of y'all ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
I do.
Jeepers Creepers in 4K.
They're rebooting the franchise. I just got notified they're
a reboot, bro.
And guess what? Victor Salva's not involved. He's gone.
Oh, so who's new?
He's gone. The new director is a guy named Timo Veronasola from Iron Sky. Basically, it says here they have bought the distribution rights to Jeepers Creepers franchise. Screen Media, which released the third film, have decided that they're going to do a soft reboot. And Tito, Loha Android, he notified me, telling me, and he knows how big of a Jeepers Creepers fan I am. And I just figured I'd throw it out there. I mean, I know it's not tech, so I'm sorry, but that caught me off guard because, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the franchise, but I don't like Victor Salva. Like for me, again, not tech related, but I'm a huge fan of the film series, not the director, the film series. I like the Creeper. I like what it does. It was original. And I'm like, they're never going to make a fourth movie. So the fact that they're rebooting it, I mean, you know what? Let's do something new. Let's get the origin story done, but with a new story. And who knows? Get Jonathan Breck back. I think they're going to keep him. He's the Creeper.
All right. Jarrett, I don't know if Jarrett's still here. I missed this one. I meant to come back to it. He was asking about the 100 megahertz channel until at least next December. Yes, that's true because they're going to be allowing AT&T in on some of the Block A with a 60-40 split for the first part with Block A. And that'll change the following December.
So if you guys think about it, we got this new mobile Magenta Max panel 4K, right?
Yeah.
AT&T and Verizon will eventually match that with 4K options. You guys will have 4K in upcoming data plans. Right? Not only that, the throttling will be a thing of the past, and
4K.
Right, yeah, but also it's neat. I mean, eventually, man, you might have some Verizon home internet at gigabyte speeds.
I'm on the fence about this because remember what SMT says. Don't listen to the carrier, right? Watch what they do. I anticipate there's going to be new plans with 4K by 2023. I don't anticipate by 2022 they will come in. I'll tell you why. Currently, they are not going to be fast enough to deploy the C-band in all the markets, right? Because it's not deployable other than the top 50 in the first year, right? So that means that if you have everybody doing 4K streams, you can congest a gigabit home internet network. Do it with 10 TVs streaming 4K content and then a bunch of other things, you're done. But my point is that I think by 2023, we'll see the 4K content included for free.
Yeah, but Moose, not everybody's going to be using a wireless ISP for their home internet. Yeah. The fiber is still the end game. So I know, even if Verizon came to my home area and offered me gigabit home internet, the AT&T home fiber is still better. If they're running fiber to my house, I'm taking that. It's going to be more reliable. It's going to be a dedicated fiber cable to my house. That's not wireless. That's not going to be subject to any type of, spectrum sharing or any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but they're not going to roll out fiber everywhere, though, in the U.S.
I understand, but I'm saying if I got options, Caleb, got options.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm going with a hardwire, fiber optic cable. You know,
Hardware is always
was always better, baby.
it is. It's the way to go. I don't
let
care
me
what
let me get to Dave, man. Dave's an OG, bro. He's been riding with me
Yeah.
forever, bro. Appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Not sleeping on T-Mobile, but the reason why we're not emphasizing T-Mobile today is because T-Mobile is not going to be a C-band carrier. It's going to be a supplemental channel for them, meaning it's going to be 40 megahertz, 20 megahertz. It's not going to be a game changer for them. It's going to be a supplement. Their most important channel will always be N41, and they have that in their possession now. So we're not really just making it an emphasis of tonight's show. If I am going to discuss 5G, I mean, we do have to emphasize the fact that they've gotten ahead because they're the first dedicated mid-band channel for 5G that's sizable, right? So all of our mid-band channels right now that are not T-Mobile's N41, they're 20 megahertz, right? You got 20 megahertz of PCS, 20 megahertz AWS. You got 10 megahertz of whatever else. This is 80 megahertz in some markets, 60, 40, 100, whatever, right? So, yeah, I'm not trying to say that T-Mobile doesn't matter. I'm just saying that for tonight's show, the emphasis is C-band, which T-Mobile, it's supplemental. It's not their primary. But I will say that T-Mobile needs to address this. This is what this show could be about. Now that they bought C-band, you can't build out C-band for macros only. So if they plan on building out C-band right, they're going to have to do microcells.
Yeah,
And
small
Zero
cells.
Cool. I
Absolutely.
got a sign, bro.
No, here we go.
I got
Where's
a
the
sign that I
sign?
need to hold up. Mr. Neville Ray, you guys just bought about 40 megahertz of C-band in some places. Can we get some small cells for that, please?
We need a
Thank you.
We need a nickname for Neville.
Good old Verizon.
Yeah. So let me tell you.
How do I get that on Verizon, bro?
When Verizon first rolled out small cells, I was on that team. Okay, they rolled out 700 AWS PCS tri-band small cells. That was the first ones that they've done. So you can do mid-band on small cells. It's done by Verizon. Okay, you guys know that. I will say, however, that there's a hot piece over at the FCC. Her name's Jessica, and little birdie told me that they're gonna auction off the rest of the 2.5 to make some continuous spectrum
There
for
you go.
T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So there you go. Don't count them out yet.
No, I don't count them out yet. And actually, I hope they get the rest of that 2.5. I'd like
Well,
them
I
to have
hope
all
so
of it,
too.
bro. Let them have the whole
I hope so
shebang.
too. Oh yeah.
Tyrone, what do you got to say about that rest of that 2.5? Where do you hope it ends up, man? Oh, crap, we lost him. We lost Tyrone.
He'll come back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So just real quick, so there is in auction 108, there's another 116 megahertz is 2.5 up for grabs. So there's
Right.
there's more spectrum coming. I see something in your DM, Sneed. 100 megahertz was officially spotted in Washington, so I sent that to you. And again, a lot of people are saying that. I see a lot of people in the comments are saying, 60 megahertz. Verizon is going to perform with its density and small cells. With that 60 megahertz C-band, they're going to perform just as well, if not better, early on where they deploy it. And especially with their fiber build-out. They're still laying thousands of miles of fiber per month. So they're going to boost the backhaul as soon as they deploy the C-band if it's on a small cell or if it's on a macro.
Incredible. Who has money for the next auction? What do we got? 100 megahertz CBRS? Dish?
Bro,
No.
honestly,
I'm done with Dish.
what is the next auction? So you're gonna have 160 megahertz of band 41. What else?
Yep.
They got 40 megahertz of C-band in most cases, wherever they got it.
Oh,
Don't forget.
CBRS too. There's gonna be another CBRS auction as well.
So there's 2.5, there's CBRS.
Right.
And then there's 50 megahertz of that 4.9 gigahertz just floating around over there.
Ooh.
You know, and that is not technically auctionable, but from what I've been told, they might be trying to win over the new FCC chairwoman and ask her nicely, hey, this should be for first responders exclusively.
Don't forget about the 6 gigahertz. We had about 1,200 megahertz of that, so that'll get some people happy.
Hey,
Just like
I just
they
want to say RIP home wireless internet providers. RIP, you're done. Once these Spectrum auctions finish, traditional home ISPs, if you don't treat your customers well and deploy fiber, you don't stand a chance. These wireless ISPs are going to eat you alive. You're done. I told Cox, I told the guy who came over to fix the internet, I said, start looking. Your job is done, dude. You know, you guys treated your customers like crap. You gave them subpar product and service. They're leaving you. Everybody's going to leave. You guys are done. And once we start getting pivots and echoes and all this other stuff to really, truly monetize the millimeter wave, and then those channels get wider and they start aggregating with C-band and other things, it's over. They're done. People can get gigabit speed at home from a wireless service provider. It's over. You're done, dude. Your coax, just shove it. You know, I'll leave it for you on the curb, bro.
The only chance they have is the DOCSIS 4.0 with the 10 gigabyte speed. No, he said no.
Wow.
Nah, dude.
You're calling it like that, Sneed. That's it.
I would rather waste the $500 on Starlink for the equipment and pay the $100 a month than to give Cox $1, bro.
No, I hear you.
I'll find any other place to spend my dollar than to spend it with Cox.
Bro, I can't wait for the Starlink.
Money. Would you invest that money in a good hair dye? Because them eyebrows are starting to look a little faded in there.
Holy crap.
Bro, where did you find this guy, bro? Who is he? Who is this guy?
No, I just realized I haven't roasted you all night, and I feel like I'm being too generous.
I was actually waiting for you, bro. I was waiting for some slick stuff to come out of your mouth, bro.
That's the only thing I'm saying tonight. That's it.
Yeah, this guy wants to come in. This guy wants to come in talking smiggity, man. Come on, bro.
Damn.
You sit there with your little headband over there, thinking you know more than me. Well, you kind of do anyway. So yeah.
Well,
I don't know if anybody else can see that. Techno, your camera's kind of flickering, buddy.
I thought
Flickering?
I'd fix it. It probably the connection. Let me see if I can fix that.
Try plugging a different port.
Hey,
Hey, yo, Sneak, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, because I was just testing something here. I think I figured out finally how to get the background noise.
It's neat.
No, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, go ahead, Moose.
What happens if hypothetically that 4.9 gigahertz, which is 50 megahertz, also comes into the fold of AT&T? Now we're talking 130. Wow. Now we're talking 130, not contiguous, of course, but still 130 megahertz nationwide on average.
So I think at that point, carriers can start to create these network cores for certain applications and use cases. You know, I don't know, Zero Cool could probably comment on this, but I think what you could do is you might be able to dedicate certain channels in certain applications in certain markets, right? So if you're going to privatize like enterprise networking and stuff like that, I think that's what they can do. Once you have larger channels that are, you know, you've got 3-4 of them, right? So you got a C-band channel, you got a 4.9 channel, you got a 6 gigahertz channel, you know, you got millimeter wave and stuff. I think you could start to kind of do that.
Yeah, a lot of it's actually going to be in the millimeter wave space, because the hard part when you try to do a network slicing at mid-band, there's just not that much to go around, because you actually need, for the downlink and uplink, you can actually need a full, like 100 megahertz channel. There's so much spectrum in the millimeter wave space that they're able to use for network slicing. And that's why Verizon's going to do that over millimeter wave, as well as AT&T. T-Mobile, not so much. So.
All right. So in 2019, we proved, myself, Carlos, you know, anybody who was doing network testing and creating videos, we proved that 5G wasn't ready. in 2019, right? In 2020, we proved that it came a long way, but most people weren't really buying in on 5G. In 2021, if you're on T-Mobile, you need a 5G phone. You have dedicated channels of 5G. You've got N71, you got N41. I'm going to leave the millimeter wave alone because it's just not built out much.
Yeah.
Once this goes live for all three carriers, I mean, why wouldn't you have a 5G phone at this point? Like, if you have an iPhone 7, if you have an iPhone 8, if you have a Galaxy S9, you're going to probably want to upgrade at this point because you're losing out on so much capacity. And there's going to be new plans, too. Verizon's going to monetize this immediately. Like, right away. AT&T, T-Mobile have new plans. Once these channels are being broadcasted, it's a wrap. It's going to be great. I'd be happy with 20 megahertz of 2.5 around here. Man, that's not asking much, dude. I don't know, Jesse. I think 100 megahertz should be coming your way, dude. Let's give you something real. You know? What's up, Pete? He said the T-Mobile seems better than satellite. Even Sneed's bad speeds are better than satellite. I don't know, dude. Can satellite do 30 megabits? Because that's what I'm getting. Dude,
Bro.
Every week my speeds drop. Every week.
I'm telling you, bro. Starlink, bro. Starlink. For now.
Every week, man. I used to get 130 megs. I'm down to 40.
You're gonna.
Last week it was 50.
Bro, you're just for right now, bro. It's refundable that fee once you cancel.
I mean, with that Magenta Max, it's just going to get so much worse. I don't know.
It really is. It's refundable, bro. I looked it up. So if you cancel that service, you get your money back.
I don't know, dude. If I can pull it off, I will do it. I will go with Elon Musk and his home internets.
But it doesn't matter because the SMT is going to be upgraded to fiber this year.
100%. That is my end game. My end game is absolutely home fiber.
Oh,
If Verizon Fios was here, it'd be a slam dunk.
But
it would have been
the
Fios.
Magenta Max, it loves you.
See, you had to bring the Mitch McConnell into it.
Jesus.
God.
Yeah, I mean, the site's not close enough. The one I'm at now would be, they're going to decom it, and then they're going to move the gear over to a site that's 1.8 miles away. N41 won't reach. I don't care what anybody says. I have yet to test the site do more than 3/4 of a mile. People tell me they got sites reaching 2 miles. No way, no how. It is not happening here. I don't know where you guys are. I don't know how it's happening. N41 can't do a mile. How people are getting 2 miles, I don't know.
Eventually, it will be once it's on FDD and once the transmit power is raised. It will do the exact. It'll push out the exact same coverage as what the C-band will.
One of my creator buddies here, Michael Peppertech. For those of you that are not subscribed to his channel,
Love
have
that
not
dude.
seen any of his
Yeah,
videos.
awesome.
Yeah, head over there to Michael Peppertech, bro, and give him a look.
Michael Peppertech, I just want to say this, dude. I freaking loved your LG Wing second screen tip video. That is some helpful stuff. Even though I'm not a Flip user, dude, you make some seriously helpful videos and some great content. So shout out to you, my man.
All right, so he's got a question. He says, I only get service because of 5G in our house, which is weird because it says LTE, but when I disable 5G, no signal. So what's going on there, Mr. Zero Cool?
I think I might know. I think he has T-Mobile, but if you are on
He does have T-Mobile.
okay, if you have a Sprint SIM, well, just let me answer this question. If you have a Sprint SIM, you need to change that out ASAP to a T-Mobile TNX SIM, and then your issues will be solved, my dude. So go to
What's
the
the
T-Mobile
situation?
store.
What bands? You think it's the band 71 issue?
It's a SIM card issue. It's
SIM card? Okay.
yeah, he needs to switch to a TNX SIM, and then he'll be on the T-Mobile 5G network.
What if
I'll be happy.
what if he's a native T-Mobile customer and he doesn't have a Sprint SIM?
He still needs one for 5G access. So
He says he has the new SIM.
then
He probably
put
has
it put a ticket into customer service then.
Try.
What phone does he have?
Or airplane your phone. Try that too. Reset network settings.
Yeah, which
If
phone
he has
do
a
you
newer-
have, Michael?
If he has a newer phone with a standalone, he might be at the edge of a cell site receiving a standalone signal. So when he disables it, he has no other service.
It's possible. It depends on what. Check your RSRP, man. Get back to you.
You're gonna have to get one of them cell spots, bro. Those little boxes that make you connect to your Wi-Fi.
Or if you use a hammer and smash it, it'll be fine.
It works great.
Jeez.
It works great.
All right, y'all. We covered a lot tonight, man. We talked a lot. We kind of looked into the crystal ball a little bit. We looked at the numbers. There were people asking for the spreadsheet. If you would like the spreadsheet, I think what I'll do is I'm going to make a video to follow up here. I will put a link to that spreadsheet in the description of the video. I'll leave it as a Google sheet so you guys can all access it. I guess I just got to make it so that everybody can view it. So it'll show up from like sneedmobiletech@gmail.com. You'll be able to access it. And I think you can actually download it as an XLS anyways, spreadsheet. So you should be good to go.
Sneed.
And, yeah.
Do we have time for one quick final? I don't know if you're ending the show now. Do we have time for just one more? I have actually a very good topic I wanted to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So, as you guys know, all these carriers cater to the senior citizens. I'm a big fan of senior platform when it comes to 55 and older.
Yeah.
Ranger Horse.
And there's something I have to talk about. And I really want to know what's going on. Why hasn't it changed? For 3 years now, Verizon has offered a 55 plus plan for 3 years. But the problem is it is limited to 2 states, Illinois and Florida.
That's true.
And it's been like that for almost 3 years. Now T-Mobile has come out, and even their 55 and older plans have gotten an update to the Magenta Max and include the Netflix, the stuff, and everything. So they're getting more value for the seniors.
Mhm.
Whether or not you're going to use it, that's up to you.
Right.
But what I don't understand is also AT&T as well. I believe they have a senior plan, but I think they are updating it too. They're adding in some value in there. I don't know if they added HBO Max. I haven't checked back, so somebody could fact check me on that. But I'm going to focus on Verizon because I don't understand why they haven't updated this plan. And most importantly, why haven't they made it public? And
I can answer that question.
go ahead. I'm here.
Verizon doesn't believe in senior citizens. Yeah.
They discriminate.
That's a sin because them elderly people got money to spend. They're on the retirement.
But
So you better be banking in.
Technoid, the times that a person with that plan switches from Verizon to another carrier, they would never want to do it. Look at Sneed's dad as an example. He straight up told him, if you switch my plan, I will kill you. Straight up. Their churn for that age demographic is so low. The only way that they will actually churn is if one of them is still working. That's legit the only way that research has proven that if one of those people in the senior citizens plan is still working, they will churn because they know that they can get a better value in another carrier.
What happened actually is I told my dad I was thinking about switching us all to T-Mobile. This is back in 2017. And Carlos knows the exact quote he gave me. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized. But later that evening, I fell asleep, right? And I was like kind of half asleep. So like corner of my eye was open. I saw my dad lurking in the shadows, bro. And he had a spiked baseball bat, bro. And he was just staring at me. I think he was going to kill me in my sleep if I moved us to T-Mobile, bro. So I totally just... I got rid of that plan, bro. I was not gonna switch to T-Mobile. He was gonna murk me, bro.
Smart man. Smart man.
He was gonna murk me, dude. So I had to bust the U-turn on that.
But the
Thanks,
thing
Jesse. Appreciate the super sticker, man. Thank you.
But the thing that puzzles me is that, like, I get it, Moose. You know, they gotta milk it, and if it's working, it works. But like, it's been the same thing for 3 years. They haven't even attempted to expand this plan outside of Florida. I get Florida's a hot spot because that's mostly where most seniors live. But now there's
Wait,
more.
talking about Verizon?
Well, hold
Yeah,
on.
talking about Verizon.
No,
We got
it's also
Gene.
in California because my
They moved
friends-
to California.
Because Gene right here, he's saying that in his family lives in Delaware and his parents have the 55 older plan. That's what he's saying right now in the comments.
Verizon.
So they did expand it.
Verizon.
Yes.
Well, then how come
they-
they didn't put it on the? How come they didn't put it on the website? Because if you go on the website right now, all you will see is it will say Florida. It doesn't even give you another state or any option.
It's probably
So
an advertised line.
they didn't even update because if you check the plan on the FAQ, they do give you 5G access, but they didn't put it on their website. So maybe it's just a marketing thing they have to fix up. But like I was getting concerned for a minute because I have family and people that love Verizon. They just can't afford it, and they're 55. My aunts, uncles, mom, dad, all of them.
So
And I know other.
So Michael, that age demographic, they don't churn, bro. They don't leave. They don't like
Even
movement.
if they can't afford it.
But they are
they
willing
will.
to. But the thing is, they are willing to. They would be
maybe
willing
the
to
new
shit.
maybe the new 55s.
Maybe
Like the
maybe
ones
the new
like
ones.
but
Yeah.
the ones that are like 60, 65, the ones
No,
that
those
have been
ones.
50
Yeah.
No, they don't
That's why-
churn, bro.
That's why Technoid are the folks that you're describing. Is one of them still working?
They are all still working. Yes.
Exactly my point. The research has shown that if somebody is eligible for the 55 plus plan
Got
and
him,
is
Mike.
working, they will churn because they know they can get a better deal somewhere else. However, there are people that will never, absolutely never churn from Verizon because they don't want the hassle. They don't want to deal with issues. They know what they like. They are comfortable where they are, and that's it.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate the super
Even if they can't
chat
afford it.
sticker.
Would here's my last question. Would an add in value, like how they add for their plans, like Apple Music, Disney, Hulu, whatever, if they were to add some type of value that T-Mobile can't offer for the lower price, would that be another changing factor or no? Would it be a consideration?
I don't know. What do you think, Tyrone? I mean, Tyrone's got a pretty good pulse of movement and churn and the customer demographic. He's worked in the business too. He's been in the industry.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely want to hear Tyrone. I definitely want to hear him.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. My guy has been saying that when T-Mobile started going after that demographic, the 55 and plus, they say it does them very well. So, TechNote is right. If Verizon and AT&T don't want to expand that service, and they don't want to advertise it or whatnot, then those customers that are looking, it may not be a big amount, but they will start going to they will start ending up at T-Mobile at some point.
It's interesting that you guys mentioned the 55 and older crew. They're not heavy data users. They don't hurt the
No.
network. I mean, they are
Just
money in the bank. They pay their bill every month. They care
Every
about
month.
their credit, and they don't make bad purchasing decisions. They agree to make payments. They will make the payments. They don't default.
They got flip phones. Yeah, they're good. I mean,
I got a man with a flip phone downstairs. You want to go bring it up? I'll show you. I'll show you.
Yeah, Verizon just needs to have like a 70 old and up plan, then we can play their dingleberries too.
I love that one. That was a good one. But here's what I would say. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's been
I do-
zinging
I
them
do
all
wanna-
night, bro.
now that I have gathered my thoughts, I do want to point out one big thing here, and I think Brian, Moose is going to chime in on this too.
Nice. buddy.
AT&T's customer demographic is older as it is. If they offered a 55 plan, it would likely hurt their ARPU because people would switch to that in droves on a nationwide basis. I think that's what it comes down to as well. There's a lot of people on AT&T that are 55 and older. That's the demographic they have obtained.
Most 55 or older plus folks still have a family plan more than 4 lines on average.
True.
It's
Yeah.
very rare that they do not. That's why those folks that are 55 or older and they're only 1 or 2 lines, it's most likely because their kids have their own families and they need a bigger family plan. So they essentially divest one family plan into multiple family plans. But there was a good study that I was reading of South Korea. And one of the key benefits that SK Telecom, which is their Verizon, their equivalent of Verizon, what they did for that 55 plus or older crew is they gave them Office of the President customer service exclusivity. And number two, they had in-home or in-person customer service reps to assist them in their transition. That's the type of level that we need to do if we're really going to serve the 55 plus or older crew. That is the benefit of why somebody from Verizon will never switch to another carrier, is because they don't have the utmost extreme hand-holding to be pulled away, because that is the biggest pain point, is the fact that their bills are going to be different. It's going to be billed at a different time. They don't know what they need in terms of their plan. It needs to be simplified.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I will tell you from our experience, my mom actually was driven away from T-Mobile. That's why we switched over to Verizon, not just because of their service, but because of the way they were treated. They didn't value, in her opinion. This is her opinion, so obviously I can't really base it off of my own opinion because I'm still young and growing. But she believes that after 25, 26 years with T-Mobile, they were in like the 90s. My dad was with them earlier before they became T-Mobile. And he just felt that, like, you know, for the price that they're paying, they weren't giving him much. They weren't prioritizing a lot for them anyway, because the long-term customer, in their opinion. So this is just what they believe. And for me, growing up and seeing how, you know, your customers, those are the long ones. Those are the ones you would cherish. You would kind of want them to continue being loyal and influence others to get in on your network. Because I can tell you firsthand, I remember my uncle was a diehard AT&T fan. Never left, never switched, never wanted anything. And he's not even 55. He's in his age. And it wasn't because of, you know, this plans or whatever. It was because of just how reliable they were. And he almost tempted me to go over to AT&T. But until, you know, other circumstances happened. But no, so I get that there is an area of trust and people that just don't want to go over. But I think you're absolutely right. They have to fit a demographic. They have to really cater to the long-term customers, especially those. And I think T-Mobile's kind of really the only one that's really doing it, in my opinion, because they're adding extra about keeping it at the same price, meaning like they're upgrading their plan, giving them the premium benefits of the scam shields. Basically the same thing you would get paying standard and giving it to the elderly. And I believe now you can add more lines. I read the article. It said now I think somewhere in there you can now add extra lines in there. So I feel like T-Mobile is the one really taking now, I would say now, compared to when we switched, they are starting to cater more for their demographic that are long-term.
Yeah.
What's up, Tiny? How you doing, brother?
So it's good to see that they did change that, but it's a shame that it happened too late.
Dan is saying that they leave because they want free phones, man.
Hey, man, everybody wants that. See, Pete even said it. Pete says you could get 4 lines of 55 plus. So right there, I mean, unless, of course, you've got a family of 6, I mean, 4 is relatively, I guess, a family plan at that point. I mean, I don't know. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, who knows?
Well, how do they charge after the 4 lines if you wanted to add more lines?
What's up?
How much do they charge for the extra lines? Like if you have 4 at the 55 plus?
Sorry, I don't think I can hear you too well. I think it's breaking up, or maybe it's on my end.
Probably on your end.
It's probably my end. Hold on, I'm gonna refresh.
You know, most 55 plus or older, they
Oh, wait,
usually...
Okay, now I can hear you again.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
You guys got me afraid to talk, dude.
It's good. It's good now. I can hear now.
I was going to say, like, what does it cost after you got those 4 lines at the 55 plus rate? What would it cost? What do they charge for an additional line or 2?
If I were to do the math, I mean, I would have to pull up the website. I would have to see how much they charge for the new plans. How much is it right now for 2?
What does anybody know? Los, do you know?
For which plan?
The 55 plus?
On what company?
T-Mobile.
70, I think it is. And they're
For a
giving
single
you 2,
line?
No, for 2 lines.
Oh, 2 lines. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
Yeah, and then now they're doing a promo where they're giving 2 phones with it too.
Hang on 1 second. I think my sound is lagging, guys. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 or 35. Actually, you know what they need to do? Kind of do like Visible does. They just need to have an old people party play, you know? For old people.
I know what you're saying. A party, yeah. Hey, can we? How could Tiny go to the store, ask about the Magenta Max, and nobody knows what he's talking about?
You gotta order Speedo, bro.
Store manager doesn't care. It's not involved.
Authorized retailer for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No care in the world.
Authorized retailer.
Wow.
Happens, huh?
Wow. Oh,
Wow.
he works there and he doesn't even know about his own company. Now there's a guy that's probably had too much caffeine and is probably shaking all the time in the back there, and he's got the pink thongs up his,
He stole a whole box on T-Mobile Tuesday, bro. Nobody got any.
Like I said, Peter.
Sweaty armpits was tripping that day.
Don't forget about
Eugene.
your dog collar. Forget about your little doggy collar.
Don't forget balls.
Moose, I just got the picture that you sent.
Mhm.
So Dish spent $2.5 million and they got 0 megahertz in the top 100 markets. Wow.
They literally, I bet you, they will deploy and transmit that license in December. Or no, it would be what, December of 22? Just to say that they did it.
Jeez.
They'll be like, here we go. We got C-band over here
We
at
got
this
one
one tower. We got
Yep.
this one tower, and it's got N70 and it's got N77, and both of them are going to be 20 megahertz each. Capacity at its finest.
Wow. So I just don't even know what to say about this. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
Damn.
Info
Come on,
assistant
Tro-
got the box, bro.
I think he gonna try to get the ring on there now.
Oh no, dude. Bro, I heard they're
I love
giving
you,
out
info
beads.
assistant. I love you, info assistant.
I heard T-Mobile's doing beads next week, bro. Is that true?
No
Wait, did
way.
you say wait? Did you say beads or beats?
Beads.
No way.
BEAD?
Yeah, like beads, bedroom beads.
Oh, come on.
Is it Mardi
Come
Gras
on.
already? Or, I mean,
I mean, if you're gonna give something away, you may as well just give toilet paper with T-Mobile logo on it.
Bro.
is it Mardi Gras? Yeah.
Who got
I
the
swear on my
who got the
life.
dog collar? Who got it?
I got
That
two
was
of
last
them.
week, right? The dog.
No, that was yesterday, bro. I got two of them. I got the large one and the small one. They're gonna be
You
burned.
know something? I thought about this. So why is it like a complete outfit, right? You got the thong, the beads, the dog collar. You put all that together, what do you get?
So
I don't know
Oh
what's
my
going on
goodness.
right now.
I don't know. It's a show, bro.
Something gotta. I'm not gonna say what.
I know, bro.
Freak show, bro.
They're gonna throw him off the rooftop.
What do they think it's Mardi Gras? I mean, now it's Mardi Gras.
Now you
Oh
see the
my
pink
god.
Wow.
Oh man, toilet paper is an expensive commodity. Oh come on, Kazi.
Come
Really, bro?
on, it's not that expensive. Hey, at least it'll be put to good use for something.
Bro, Kazi type of dude that as soon as he saw what was going on during the pandemic, dude invested in bidets for the whole house. He's like, the hell with it, bro. I could be dealing with this nonsense.
Thanks.
But
Appreciate it.
do you guys? Let me ask you this: do you guys care about how leveraged the carriers are now because of this spectrum auction? You know what I mean by
I will-
leveraged?
Yeah. So if Verizon raises my pricing,
Mhm.
I'm gonna leave
Bro.
because
I'm
they're
good.
already the most expensive.
They
I don't care. They can raise mine $20 as long as it works. I don't give a damn.
No,
I
if the
pay-
account went up $20, that doesn't hurt. But if the lines go up like
Every
$10
line.
a line,
Yeah.
now we're talking about possibly the
That's
rates
right.
going up, your account going up $50-$60. No go, dude.
Ah, I see.
But it's possible that might happen because right now we realize that their debt climbed by what 56 billion. Okay, that's the exact same amount as a DirecTV transaction in 2014 or 2016. I forgot what year. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Apple Watts, yeah.
Are you sure about that fade, or is it not a receding?
You know, bro, I need to get a damn haircut, bro.
To
See,
be
this is why
fair, though,
people don't
see-
have anything, bro. This is why.
To
people
be
don't have
fair
anything.
though, whoa, Los with a comb over. I like it.
Yeah, bro.
I like it,
Nah, bro. Gotta go.
bro. It look good on you. It really be looking good. Gonna pull
Man.
an El Coolio up in this house.
Oh.
Nah, but I will tell you this much. If Verizon were to spend another additional on this next auction, I think I'm going to be really more shocked, not just because of the money they have, but just how much they're willing to go on mid-band at this point, because I think millimeter wave is going to start establishing itself because it's ultra low frequency. So if they go all in on mid-band and they're investing billions again like they did on this auction, although probably not as much, I think it's safe to say that Big Red's going in for the kill. Not for the...
But Techno, do you think the pricing stays the same? T-Mobile the most affordable, AT&T in the middle, and Verizon still the most expensive?
Well, I mean, I don't think the price is going to change because, for one, I think they're probably going to increase it because that's just how Verizon is. But at the same breath, I do believe that they're going to add more value because there's no way they're bringing their prices down ever. And if anybody in this panel here disagrees, you could tell me because I have yet to see when Verizon has ever lowered their bills. But what they have done is increased in value, adding more with that money that you're spending.
You're correct, bro.
Well, you know that's coming. Netflix, whatever. Hans is working. That's coming.
Hans,
more value.
Hans, if you're listening to me, let me tell you something right now. I love everything you're doing for the company. I love the value, but maybe you could slide in a little Netflix in there and give me the full, the full premium account. You give it to me for free on our plan. I think we'll be all right. Oh yeah, and another one. What will be even better? How about we get some Fios in there? Come on now, man. Let's get some free TV in there. Let's boost it up.
We need more files. Yeah,
we need more files.
Or an Amazon Prime membership.
Even better.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. It's coming. Something's coming this year. It's coming.
I want to see Fios get a big revamp because the current status of Fios is terrible, in my opinion. The internet is great. Internet, nothing to complain. Cable service needs a rehaul. Like equipment charges and crap, that has to go. That has to go.
Do you guys remember the article about 3 weeks ago that said that Verizon is exploring to sell Fios completely? And I figured out why.
I didn't hear about that. Why. Who are they looking to sell it to?
I think I told Sneak this early in the year that was going to happen.
Who are they trying to sell to?
They literally do well in Fios.
Not really. Think about it. They haven't expanded their footprint. They sold to Frontier the remaining wireline assets. They're done.
Yeah, but when you look at the quarterly results, it's profitable and there's growth.
Yeah.
Yes, but is it as much?
That's one of the 9 states that they have it though, so those are the most profitable areas.
Yeah, right. Is it going to be as much growth as wireless broadband?
No.
Like they're saying?
No.
They will effectively monetize mobility. Maybe that's what they want to do.
Yeah. I think they're going to be exactly like T-Mobile.
What's Fios worth? What's Fios worth?
Probably $10 billion. They're not going to sell their fiber network. What they're going to sell is just the
customers, the business assets.
ISP version of it. Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to
off
see
the book.
All the tech off the book.
Well, the techs they will no longer need the text as well. Everything else on the home broadband is self-install.
Yeah, they wanted to do that. That was a big thing, Tyrone. They were waiting for the self-installation process to be seamless, and I think they're also waiting on the hardware.
Yep, hardware too.
I mean, the modems, I don't know. The routers, that the combo that they're putting in the Windows, Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree their Fios internet is unbeatable. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. Good. But their cable service is a major, major fade. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, we have it. It's not worth $220 a month. It is not worth $220 a month.
$220?
We're paying for internet, home phone, cable. And let me tell y'all something. I got Xfinity down in West Palm Beach for free and comes with the maintenance in our house. I'm using that more than Verizon, and it gives me all of the Florida channels out of state. If I go out of state with Verizon, I can't even get New York. So,
but why would you? I would. This is the question, Technoid. You're like, you are explaining to us the plight of millions and millions and millions of other Americans in the United States that they don't want to change provider for whatever reason because they're comfortable with Verizon. It's
not that they're comfortable. It's not that they're comfortable. It's just that if they go to anyone else, who else are they going to go to? We had Spectrum. It was garbage. Verizon Fios seems to be the best, but after seeing how expensive it is, like me personally, I wouldn't stay with it. I'm getting the hell out of Fios. I'm keeping their internet. That's the only thing I'm keeping. I'm not taking their cable or their home phone. First of all, who even uses a home phone anymore? This is my home phone. Secondly, if I can do better with Xfinity and they're giving me Peacock and HBO Max, why would I want to keep Fios cable service? I'm getting that. As soon as I get my own place when I'm older, I'm out. I ain't doing Fios. I ain't doing none of that. Just their internet? Boom.
Well, at least you don't have to figure out how to push out N41 to people with dog collars.
Oh,
God.
You lost me there.
This is why our people don't have anything, bro. This is exactly why. It's the dog collar.
But you
bro.
see, technically, when I was in college, what I did for my parents was I looked at everything that they were paying for. You know, cable, internet, home phone, wireless, etc. And what I suggested was alternatives to their exact same services that would save them a significant amount of money. And that's what gave me 3/4 worth of savings. 3/4 worth equated to 1 full quarter of my tuition for electrical engineering school. So what I suggest, if you would like, you look at what your parents are paying for. You suggest alternative options like Magic Jack. Magic Jack home phone service is amazing because you just have one payment for 5 years. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2, get rid of the TV because clearly it's not giving anybody any favors and get something else. There's so many options.
Moose, you don't got to tell me. I've been trying to convince them to go streaming. My mom is on board. I'm on board. My father is not on board, and he will never. But here's the thing. He's getting better with it. You know, for 81 years old, he knows how to use a Fire Stick. He knows how to use a Fire Stick.
What you got to do is get him familiar with the apps on his phone. But the
He
problem is he doesn't have a smartphone.
He has a flip phone.
That's the problem. If you got him used to an iPhone.
Here's what I'll say. I have done that for them in the past, Moose, with the bill for cellular. And when we did switch over to Verizon, they did agree the internet was much better. So I did manage to let them hang on to the internet. The cellular plan was much better, much more better value, a little bit less, about the same as what we pay. So I did good on that end. And when it comes to streaming services and getting extra content, I made them milk it because down in West Palm Beach, the house, they only pay a maintenance fee, and that includes the cable and internet. So you get that access and on top of all the add-ons. So I'm letting them get the extra stuff. So I've been trying to help out as much as I can. But I think at the end of the day, though, you know, it's not just that they're older and that's what they do, but I think it's just that like they're afraid to go into the streaming area. They need a hard device. You know what I mean? They need like a actual box. They're accustomed to that.
Yep.
But my mom is more accustomed to the streaming because she uses a smartphone. She knows the apps and stuff. So she's good. If me and my mom live by ourselves, we don't get along really well. Me and my mom, we have like a nice connection, like where I'm the one that keeps her up to date. She follows suit. Like we go hand in hand. It's just my dad. You know, he's a little bit older, so you got to take it easy with him. Yeah. But we would have a great time. Baby steps, exactly. Yeah.
So the same thing happened with my parents, bro. Like my dad couldn't understand that there were no channel numbers on Hulu. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, "Where's 43 and where's 6 and where?" I'm like, "Pop, it's by like the station's name." So like local channels, you got to literally go to like ABC, NBC, and he's like, "Wait, where are the numbers?" I'm like, "Pop, I just told you, there's no numbers. It's about the station name." You know, but it's been cable TV since the 80s for that.
I guess that's why he'll like AT&T TV, the traditional AT&T TV with the box, because that actually does have the channel numbers.
Yeah, and that's what he knows. My dad always says, "I don't need a box." Every time I show him a new app for TV, he's like, "How do I get the box here?" I'm like, "What box?" It's
you know what might work though? What might work for my father that I'm gonna try? When we use the Fios, he talks to the remote and he asks for the channel, and that's something that I can work with because he likes talking to that thing and it gets the channel or the movie, so he likes that. So if I can convince him, because I personally want to switch to YouTube TV. I think YouTube TV is the best in my opinion. I mean, it's a little bit hefty, but look at what you get: all sports channels, everything. And for me, you have unlimited DVR access. You get up to 6 profiles. I can share that out with one of my friends. That's it. And for me, you get all the channels. So I think it will work.
Want me to send you a box to try for AT&T TV? I'm telling you, it will sell your parents. It's sold an 80-year-old, so I know that I can sell them.
Hey, you know what? I'll give it a shot. All I want to know, does AT&T TV work? with HBO Max and Peacock TV.
Yeah, it works with Netflix. It's basically like an Apple TV, like the.
Oh, okay.
Bro,
Got you.
It's honestly, if you have an Apple TV, it looks a lot better, and the interface
Yeah.
is more streamless with Apple TV.
The problem, though, with Apple TV, I figured it out finally, is that if you are like us that can understand a smartphone, you would love Apple TV experience on AT&T TV. But if you're like the older generation and you prefer the channel guide, like actual channels numbers, you have to have the AT&T TV box because that's.
You still get the channel numbers with
No.
the app. Bro.
I don't get the channel numbers with the
Really?
AT&T on the Apple TV. Yeah, I'm serious.
They changed it because when I had it just recently, I can go by channel number.
Negative. I can't change it. Yeah.
No, you're right. I think that would work. I think that's something. Oh, Barry, that's a great. You know what? Comment of the night. Comment of the night, right there.
That's right.
That is a perfect.
Tremendous.
But I'm gonna see though, Moose. I'll give you some updates. I'll text you in the group chats. I'll let you know how it goes. But as of now, as it currently stands, Verizon is the current provider. We'll see what happens from this point forward. I personally told them keep the internet, get something else.
All right, well, team. Let me go ahead and thank some people here as we wrap up the show. I want to thank Carlos first to my right here. Carlos, thanks for coming through, man. Everybody check out Carlos S Tech on the YouTube side and check him out on Twitter. Anything else, Carlos, you want to tell him about?
Watch out for Magenta Max.
Watch Carlos's video on Magenta Max. I did tweet it, so check it out. It's there.
Yeah,
How about
that's
Moose?
it. Thank you.
I want to thank. You're welcome, man. Thank you for being here. Moose, thanks for coming through, bro. I appreciate you, dog.
Anytime.
Mr. Zero Cool, thank you, man. I appreciate you as well. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Mr. Technoid himself, who else? Thanks for coming through, brother. Check out Technoid. He's on YouTube. He's a creator. He's also on Twitter. You guys check him out. I think Technoid12 is the handle.
Yep, that's my handle.
Okay.
I'm starting to become more active on Twitter now, so I will be doing Twitter exclusives, so you guys can interact with me live on Twitter. Whenever I do them, it's just random, so you'll just have to watch.
All right, so appreciate you. Thanks for coming through and check out his channel. And most graciously, Tyrone, man, we appreciate you for coming through as well. You want to tell them what's going on with the channel and where they can find you? Thanks, Mint Wolf.
Yeah. You guys can find me at Tech Life channel on YouTube. Again, it was a very interesting day, and we'll see what happens. Lots to unpack still, but yeah, follow me at subscribe to me at Tech Life channel, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the week and see what we hear.
And Tyrone, if you ever want to do a collab on your side, it'd be a pleasure and an honor to join you on an episode of your show. So let me know, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thanks, Mint Wolf. Appreciate you. Big shout out to Ranger Horse, who came through with a couple of donations. Appreciate you. Very generous of you. Mint Wolf coming through as well. It only lets me go back like a certain number of I don't know. It doesn't let me go back all the way.
Doing some donations.
Thanks, Gene. Appreciate the super chats, man. Thank you. There were others. It just doesn't let me go back far enough, man. So I apologize, guys. But thanks for donating. I know that the economic times are tough. Never feel obligated to donate, but just know that when you do, we appreciate the thought, and we thank you very much for that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Thanks, everybody, for coming through. Hashtag 2LiveCrew. Hashtag Replay Gang. Hashtag Ravioli Gang. Hashtag Mod Squad. And there was one recently, bro, that somebody had that was pretty good. But
what was it, Sneedman or something?
No simping.
It was, I don't know, I forget what it was, but it was pretty good. I'll try to remember it. But that's it. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for coming through and hanging out with us. We'll check you guys on the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate the donation, Troy. Good night.